Welcome to this episode of Ask the Guitar Coach, the only podcast where you get answers to all your guitar-related questions. If you're interested in developing your guitar skills and reaching your music goals, please send me an email at the email address ioannis@ioannis.org. That is IOANNIS at IOANNIS.org, so that I can let you know about all the different packages of elite guitar coaching and how you can get private coaching by me. Without further ado, let's go to our question for the day. Is it normal for my fingertips to hurt? So here's today's question. Is it normal to have pain on your fingertips of the left hand? So right here on the left hand, the fingertips, where the calluses are created for someone who plays guitar. Let me get started by saying if you're a beginner, it's absolutely normal. So it's going to take a while, and depending on whether you play electric guitar, acoustic guitar, or classical guitar, these are different amounts of time that is going to take. If you play jazz guitar where the strings are heavier, it's a different amount of time. If you play blues guitar, where you might have kind of heavier strings, but also you're doing a lot of bends, this is going to take a long time, but it's totally normal. So if you're a beginner, it's normal, it will take some time. There are not too many things you can do about it. If it gets really bad, just rest for a couple of days, but it's going to go away soon. So let's see now what happens if you're not a beginner. So if you're not a beginner, why would you feel pain on your fingertips right here? Well, there are several reasons that might explain this without being in any way or form something to worry about. The first one is, did you take a break from playing? Now, several of my students, they will take a break for a couple of months for various professional reasons. At this time, we work more on theory and we talk about various things, we listen to recordings, but for some reasons they cannot do any playing. One of the reasons is they might be traveling all the time. So what happens is after 1 or 2 months, when they come back to playing and they grab the guitar, very happy that they're now able to play again, their calluses are not there anymore. They have atrophied. And this is one of the reasons why they might develop some pain for the next few days. So this is totally normal. If you have not been playing for a while or you've been playing very little, when you start playing again, you're gonna get some pain. Another reason that this might happen is if you move to a lower gauge string set. So if you're using 9ths and you move to 10s or 11s, then it's definitely gonna be a little hard on your fingers. And this is very normal. It happens to everybody. It doesn't happen just to beginners or intermediates. It happens to even advanced players. It will just take some time until you get used to these new sets of strings. So because now it takes significantly more strength to bend notes, to play vibrato. So it's totally normal if you have moved to a different set of strings to have for your calluses to be hurting a little bit. What really happens is that it's gonna take a few days and then they're gonna be back to normal because now they will be accustomed to this new tension. Another reason you might be feeling pain in your fingertips is if you have been overplaying the last few days. Let me explain. If you usually play like half an hour to 1 hour per day, and then because you get all excited about something, maybe you started having lessons, or maybe you decided to play with the band and you have to learn some songs, now you're playing 4 hours a day. Now, your hands and your fingertips are used to playing 1 hour a day. They're accustomed to that amount of playing. When you start playing 4 hours, it's very normal. They're gonna start hurting until they adapt to this new playing load, and then they're gonna be okay with you even playing 4 hours. But this is only gonna take like maybe a couple of weeks, definitely no more than that. If you're enjoying this show and you want to be notified whenever a new video comes out, make sure you press subscribe right here, okay? And also press the notification bell so that you can get a notification every time we release a new video. And now, let's go back to our regular episode. Here's another reason why you might be getting some fingertip pain. Are you learning some new repertoire that includes a lot of bends and a lot of compound bends? Now, bending strings, and especially compound bends, place significant strain on your calluses and on your fingertips. So if you came back from playing a style of music that doesn't have a lot of bending, and for some reason you went back to playing a style of music that has a lot of bends, it's very normal that you're going to get some pain. Once again, it is just because this is a new load on your fingertips. It's going to take a few days, maybe a couple of weeks, and it's going to be fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's going to catch up very quickly. Finally, let's examine something that happens quite less often. And this is changing strings, but not changing the strength of the strings and the thickness of the strings, just changing from one kind of strings to another kind of strings. For example, I would randomly say going from Ernie Ball to the Dario. So what can happen there is very, very interesting. One of the reasons why you might be getting fingertip pain when you change string brands is because you might be having an allergic reaction to some of the materials in the new strings. Now, there is absolutely no way that I know that you can know this in advance. So basically, you only figure it out when you have a set of strings, you're playing fine, no pain, and then you change the strings and you start getting some pain because of this allergic reaction. And this is not necessarily only pain, it can be some intense like itching or something like that, or redness, much more than usual, even without extra pain. And this can be because you might be having an allergic reaction. Now, unless you feel very, very compelled to use these new strings for some reason, I would say go back to your previous ones that you know for a fact that they're not causing you any kind of reaction, because if you are getting an allergic reaction, it's very common that it's very possible that you might find the same problem in other strings as well. So if you have found a brand that doesn't have, that you don't get a reaction from playing with them, then use those strings as your main strings. So there you have it. Is it normal for your fingertips to hurt? Well, under some circumstances, which I feel we will explain on this video, it is normal and it can happen. In the vast majority of cases, this is just a new load that you have given to your fingers for various reasons, and it's going to be fine in a couple of weeks. There's also, however, the possibility that you might be having an allergic reaction, and you should be careful if that is the case. So I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you in the next episode of Ask the Guitar Coach. Until then, keep sending me your questions and I'll do my best to answer them in a future episode. Bye bye.